Going live. Hello everyone. I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. I have Abhishek with me. Welcome Abhishek on the platform. So I am hearing very nice comments about you on deployment sessions as well as on OmniStudio, and people are asking doubts as well. So I think you are doing great job, and I'm already impressed with your work, and I think now community also getting impressed with whatever you are doing for them, and I'm sure this OmniStudio bootcamp will change life of lots of consultant. They will like they will be able to upgrade their uh, CV, and they will be able to apply for jobs for the companies whoever is working for industry clouds, right? So I appreciate your dedication towards work. And today we are having day two of this Salesforce OmniStudio bootcamp. So guys, as I promised you just yesterday, like from day two onwards, all the sessions will be having some practical implementation, right? So today we'll be doing some practical implementation around data raptor. So first component that we are picking is data raptor because it will give you the baseline so that you will be able to use it in IP or like your flex cards or omni scripts, right? So first we'll be covering data raptor, then IP, then either flex card or omni script as per the requirement, right? So first I want like Abhishek to introduce himself. So if someone joined this bootcamp for the first time, so I want they should know who Abhishek is and what he is doing. So over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. So, hi everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So, myself, Abhishek, and I'm working as a Salesforce and Velocity developer in Salesforce community. And I have around 5+ years of experience, and I have done 200 badges on my Trailhead, and I'm holding some certifications which are from Salesforce. Like the first one is like OmniStudio Developer. Then I have CPQ Specialist, Service Cloud, TD1, and Admin. And I have done multiple projects on Velocity or OmniStudio, where majorly I have worked upon like Insurance Cloud and Telecommunication and Industries Cloud. Yeah, so that's all.
Perfect. So moving on to the next slide. So if you want to become part of Sanjay Gupta Tech School community and want to interact with freshers and professionals, so you can scan this QR code and you can become part of that group. Lots of folks are connected there and they are interacting on daily basis. And next, like if you want to receive timely notifications, so you can follow Sanjay Gupta Tech School on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Telegram, and all the links are available in the video's description as well. And next slide says, please provide some reviews and feedback so that it will keep us motivated. And like your reviews are like 100% impression of our work. So if we receive positive reviews, it means we are doing good work. And if we are getting some negative reviews, so it means we need to improve. But to be honest, and YouTube is the public platform, everybody can see all the comments. So as of now, like 99% I received positive reviews because our intention is pure to help the community. So keep on giving us reviews or feedback so that it will keep us motivated. Okay, with this note, like over to you, Abhishek. So today he will be doing some demonstrations in the org. So OmniStudio org, how you can access that we discussed yesterday, and org access link is available in the session tracker as well, right? So create that org it today itself so that now onwards, whatever session you watch, you can do practice as well. So in every session, you will be having like we are implementing scenarios and we are discussing that. And if you see any challenge, you can ask doubt. live in the session and later on in the Telegram group. Okay, so let's start today's session, Abhishek.
Yeah. So as a OmniStudio components, we're gonna discuss about the first component will be the data raptor. So as we have already discussed and we have already seen what actually data raptor does is, so whenever you want to fetch some data from your database, right, or you want to manipulate some data into your database, then as a Salesforce components, what we use generally is SoQL queries and DML operations, like insert command, update command, upsert command, right? So if you want to do some sort of similar thing with the help of OmniStudio tool, then here we go. We have the data raptor. So we're gonna discuss a brief about data raptor again today, and then we will be seeing the practical implementation of one of the data raptor type. So data raptor used for mapping tool that enables you to read, transform, or write Salesforce data. Read means you can fetch it. Transform means if you want to, perform some logic, or let's say you want to transform some data. And what write means you can perform DML operations. Then data raptor supplies data to OmniScript and OmniStudio FlexCard from Salesforce. So as we already discussed, OmniScripts and FlexCard are used for creating the UI experience, digital experience, right? So if you are not fetching some data, or if you're not saving some data to the database that is gathered from the UI, then there is no sense of creating the UI. So data raptors is the backend tool which will fetch the data or save the data, and it can supply the data to the OmniScripts and FlexCards. They typically do via the OmniStudio integration procedures. So whenever we are working in Salesforce, right? In Salesforce, if we are writing any SoQL queries, we generally write in the Apex classes, right? So when if you want to show some data onto the LWC, right? So you will be calling Apex class, or you will be using the Lightning data services, right? In the same way, when you want to show some data into the OmniScripts or FlexCard, you can use the data raptor directly from the OmniScript. But if you want to perform some business logic around that, let's say if you want to get some let's say data from 10 objects, right? So we generally use integration procedure in between. So from your OmniScript, we will be calling the integration procedure, and from the integration procedure, we will be calling the data raptor. And it will be the other way around. Data raptor will provide the data to the IP, and the IP will provide the data to the OmniScript. So this is how these components can be integrated, right? So if we see an example of data raptor, so like as we already discussed, we can get the data, and OmniScript call a data raptor extract via an integration procedure, or it can be called directly as well. And manipulate data, the OmniScript captures changed and new data based on the user input. So let's say you are getting some information, some account information, right? And you want to save it to the database, then we can again use the data raptor. Or let's say there can be one more example, can be if you are fetching some data and user is making some sort of changes on that data. Now you want to save that changed data to your database, then again we will be using the data raptor. And save data is a simple example of insert DML operation. If you want to save some new data to your database, then again we will be using the data raptors.
Yep. Right. So I think to summarize, so all these things are available in Flow Builder as well. Get data, update data, create data, or it is like get record, update record, create record, right? And same things we can do in Apex as well through SoQL or DML. So I think today you will be demonstrating some things around this. I think we will be doing get data today, right?
Yeah, so we will be seeing one data raptor type example, which is data raptor turbo extract. I mean, first we will be seeing what type of data raptor types we have. Then we will be seeing the practical implementation of one of the data raptor type.
Right. So guys, stay tuned and watch this session till end. Don't uh, like stop watching in between, because if you are following all the videos, then only you will be able to understand the whole concept of OmniStudio, right? And as I say, consistency is must, right? So be consistent. So we are doing 2 sessions every week, right? And rest of the days, like, you can do practice, and we'll be giving you some exercises as well. So week by week, like, you will be able to learn Omni Studio, and the only thing that you need to do is practice and yourself. Practice doesn't mean like you're watching what we are implementing. You need to do hands on, you need to do your hands dirty. So watch what we are implementing and implement at your own. So that will help you out. Okay, so
Yeah,
please continue.
yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. So this is a similar slide that we have seen yesterday. So let's know about data raptor types in brief. So typically we have 4 types of data raptors available in OmniStudio. So one is data raptor turbo extract and second is data raptor extract. So these both type of data raptor extract are used to get or read the data from your database, right? But the major difference between them is if you want to fetch the data from a single object or a direct parent to it. So for example, let's say if you want to fetch the contact data, right? And if you want to get the account related account information as well, but that account will be your direct contact. It should not be in the hierarchy. Like uh, there should not be any third object. So then in that case, we will be using data raptor turbo extract. And when I want to fetch the data who are in relationship, if they have multiple relationships, if they have no relationship between them, then also we can fetch the data from data raptor extract for multiple objects. So why OmniStudio have created these 2 data raptors in a way? Because data raptor turbo extract is kind of a faster data reading process from your database. So if you want to fetch your data from if you want to fetch your data from single object, then you must use the data raptor turbo extract because it will be a bit faster when we are comparing with the data raptor extract. So
Okay,
these
so
2 things are major difference between them.
yeah, I think we can proceed with these two. Data Raptor load and transform, like, we'll be covering in upcoming sessions, so we can skip that as of now.
Okay. So this is the definition that we have seen. It retrieves and filters data from a single object with support for fields from related objects. And those related objects should be the direct objects. Direct relation should be there. You can filter the data and select the fields to return. Doesn't support formulas, complex output mappings. So whenever you are fetching some data from a database, you can perform some actions in the formula tab that we will be seeing in action when we'll be doing the implementation. And advantages of this, it's simpler configuration. You don't need to write any sort of SoQL queries. You will be just doing all the point and click things, drag and drop things, all that. And one example can be retrieve opportunities for an account, right?
Yeah,
So opportunity is your child object and account is your direct parent object.
so maybe this can be our first demonstration, right?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, guys. So just hold on, and now Abhishek will be jumping to the org, and he will be doing the first demonstration. So right now, just focus on how he's doing, and once this session ends, and you will be, if you are a working professional, so you can do practice on weekend. If you are like fresher, have enough time, so you can do practice on weekdays as well. But uh, understand the concept, ask questions, and then try to implement whatever we are trying to implement.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So, first of all, I just want to give you a look around how OmniStudio looks like. So there will be an application in your whenever you will be getting the developer edition or for OmniStudio, then you will be getting this OmniStudio, which is a console app. Okay, and when you click on this OmniStudio, then there will be a set of tabs that will be available in this application. So like these tools are the major components of OmniStudio. So first is OmniScript, then we have FlexCard, then we have data raptors, then we have integration procedures, right? And by default, they have added the account context and case objects into the OmniStudio application. And if you want to add some more objects into your OmniStudio application, you can do that by click on the edit icon.
Yeah.
So
So I think this is an application, right? So in this application, so if this application is available, OmniStudio application is available, then only you will be able to uh, you will be able to implement these things like data raptor, IP, and other things.
yeah, so let's move on to the data raptors. So how Velocity slash OmniStudio has designed these components. So if I talk about the OmniStudio data raptor, this is a Salesforce object, right? And whenever you are creating a new data raptor, right, there will be a record created for this OmniStudio data raptor Salesforce object, correct? So they have designed in a way that you will not be writing any sort of code. So these all are records. These all are records. So let's jump onto the implementation. We will just click on the new button, similar to like we are creating the account record or contact records. And there will be a UI where you will be giving the data raptor name, right? So generally, when we are working on the projects in consulting companies, there are some naming conventions that we follow. So let's say if you are creating a data raptor transform, if you are creating a data raptor turbo extract, so what we generally write is DRTE, data raptor turbo extract, right? And then we use underscore, and after that whatever functionality we are building. So let's say I'm building a functionality where I want to fetch the opportunities with accounts, correct? Now we have the interface type where you will be selecting the data raptor type. So as we can see, we have 4 types: data raptor extract, data raptor turbo extract, data raptor load, and transform. So in our implementation, we are creating the data raptor turbo extract. And then we have two another fields which are called as input type and output type. So let's say if you want your output in the JSON format, then we will be selecting the JSON as a output. If you want to get the output in a custom format, so this custom option we will be seeing later on. But right now, for our kickoff of the implementation, we will be selecting input type and output type as a JSON only. So our input will be in the JSON format only, and our output into the JSON format only. And we can skip these 2 things, and we can just write the description, simple descriptions like get opportunity.
Yeah, and I think descriptions are also important if we are working on projects, so that
Yeah.
if some developer is developing any data raptor, so we can say like why we are creating this, and other developers can have an understanding, or like if you are working for any requirement, so you can mention task number as well for which task actually you created. So these are basically part of best practice that you can do.
Yeah. So let's click on save, and there will be a UI created by OmniStudio Data Raptor. So all the things you can see.
Now, Abhishek,
Yeah.
one thing you need to zoom in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, little bit less, like zoom out one time. Yeah, now it is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like whatever information you have given at the time of creation of the data raptor, like this is your name, then interface type, turbo extract, input, output type, and description, right? Now, whenever you are writing a SoQL query, right? So if I give you an example, what we typically write is select ID from account, select ID from opportunity, right? So ID is the value. Those are the fields that you want. Those are the fields that you want to fetch it from your database. And whatever you are writing after the from, that is your table name or the object name, like opportunity, contact, um, accounts, and all. So these all sort of things you will be seeing over here as well. So in your first option, select an option, you will be selecting your object name. So let's say I want to fetch the opportunity. Simply, I'm just gonna search for the opportunity, and just click on it, and it will automatically will see that I want to this data raptor will fetch the data from opportunities, right? And so in Apex, when we are working with Apex, when we are writing the SoQL queries, whatever data is getting returned from your SoQL queries, we typically save our data into some map or list, right? So here also we have to define a variable name. So I'm gonna call it as, let's say, OPP data. And if you want to give some sort of where clause when we are writing the SoQL queries, we can use the where clause as well. So in the filter, what we can do is for the example, I can select the account ID, and here you will be having all the operators, right? Like equals, not equals, greater, less, lesser than, greater than, and we have these like, not liked, includes, and all these operators. So I can say that account ID should not be equals to blank. So uh, what it's gonna return is, give me all the opportunities where account ID is not blank.
Yeah, so all those opportunities which are related to at least any account record.
Correct. Right. And now here comes the part where you will be selecting what fields you want to get.
Right.
So let's say I want to get account ID, amount, close date, and let's get the stage as well, stage name. So these four fields, I just want to get it from the opportunity. So if you think of this UI, it can be your SOQL query will look like select account ID, amount, close date, stage name from opportunity where account ID is not equals to null.
Exactly.
I hope I'm able to make sense, Sanjay.
Yes. And one more thing, that OPP data can be a list of opportunity, right? So
Yeah.
suppose you have created a variable list of opportunity type, name is OPP data. So whatever we are doing here, the outcome of this thing will be stored in OPP data that is written inside extract output path, right?
Yeah. So this is your object configuration. So whenever you will be creating a data raptor, in the first step, which is called as extract, you will be giving the SQL query configuration or the object configuration, right? And now we will go to the options part. So let's say you are calling this data raptor from an IP, right? So there are three options that we have in the data Raptor. So basically, Salesforce platform cache type. If you want to store this data into your cache, then you can select the session cache and the org cache. And for how many minutes you want to store this data into the cache, that also you can define over here. I mean, folks who has worked upon the LWCs or Aura components, they can get this functionality very well. What is cache types?
And I think it is optional, right?
Yeah, it is optional. You don't need to define it.
Okay.
And there is one more checkbox which is called as checked field level security. So let's say right now I have logged in as a system administrator. Now I am giving the access of this data Raptor to some profile who have access to only these two fields, account ID and amount, but not to the close at and stage name. So if I have checked this checkbox, then that profile will not be able to get the value for those two fields, right?
Right.
So that also, this feature is also available into the data Raptor. Now, if I move on to the next step, which is called as preview, and I will tell you each and everything over here. First, we will just click the execute.
So guys, right now Abhishek just clicked on execute, right? So through execute, that query will execute and result will be there.
Yeah. So see, I mean, I have just made one change, not equals to null, so we have to give the blank single quotes.
Yeah, so
that
single
it will-
quotes you need to open and close without any space in between.
Correct. So now if I again go to preview, now as you can see, we have all the opportunities data into the JSON format.
Yeah,
Close date, ID,
this is
amount.
important to understand. The outcome is in JSON format. So if you're not familiar with JSON format, so you need to understand that before you understand this. And yeah, all those fields are also available.
Yeah, and Sanjay, if you want me to explain what is JSON and what are the types we have in JSON, we can also do that.
Yeah, I think we can because I think there are folks who are fresher and
Yeah.
if they have not worked much in Salesforce ecosystem, so I think it would be good if we can explain a little bit about that.
Sure.
But
So-
you need to just little bit zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
Is
it is
it-
fine. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, when we are working in a technology or any software, there are so many object types that those technology supports. I mean, some of the popular object types can be named as JSON, can be named as XML format, or it can be named as, I mean, these are the two most popular object types or the data storage types that are popular in technology or software. So JSON format, the full form of JSON is JavaScript object notation, and it supports. So whenever you are creating a JSON format data, right? So you have to start everything with the curly braces. If I close this one out once, so as you can see, everything we have is into the curly braces. Now, JSON also supports a type of data types. So as you can see, first of all, we have array. So whenever you are creating any sort of variable into the JSON, there are always two types. There will be always two things. First is key, and second is value. Right. So as we can see, this array is the key name, and if we see the value of it, it's into the list, which is into the square brackets, and those values are comma separated, 1 comma 2 comma 3. The next data type that JSON supports is Boolean. So again, this Boolean is the key name, and the true or false can be the value. It also supports null data types. It also support number data types. Again, this is the key and this is the value. And JSON supports objects of objects as well. So if we see, this is a complete object, right? Now if I want to create an object into this object, that is also supported, right? So if you see this one, this is your key name, which is object, and into this we have started the curly braces, and we have closed the curly braces, which is called as object. And in that object we have multiple values, which example can be: a is the key value, b is the a is the key name, b is the value, c is the key name, d is the value. And JSON also supports string type of data types as well. So this is the brief introduction which can be given for the JSON formats, right?
Yep. So I think it would help, and at right hand side, it's notations summary is also available, right? Like how output will look like. So at left hand side, how you will write the JSON, and at right hand side, like how exactly in JavaScript you can see that result. So in JavaScript,
Correct.
like if you use inspect, like on your UI, on your web page, if you right click and select inspect, then there you will find this kind of output which is available at right hand side.
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
and those who are
Yeah.
having JavaScript knowledge, so I think they might know this thing very well, because in JavaScript we use this frequently.
Yeah. So like whatever data that we have received from this data Raptor, if I copy this JSON and if I paste it over here, so what we have it, first of all, every JSON format starts with the curly braces, and in that OPP data is your key. OPP data is your key value, key name, and if I collapse this, so it's a JSON format where we have a list of objects. If I open this again, then this OPP data it is holding a list of objects, and as you can see, we have an object. We are starting the curly braces, closing the curly braces, and then we have string values. We have number value, 75,000, right? So this is how our JSON will look like. So I'm gonna close this one, and we're gonna come back over here. So now we will see what this preview page is showing to us. So first of all, it has some input parameters that will. So I'm gonna explain you what this input parameters used for. So let's say I have given an input parameter, and I'm gonna say stage name where, and this, correct? So whatever value, if I click again as edit JSON, there is an input JSON that I'm providing to this data Raptor, right? So you can think of it like from your LWC, you are getting some value from your from the user, and you are passing that value to your Apex class. And whatever variable whatever value you are holding into that variable, you are using that variable as your where clause. So to this data Raptor, I'm passing a variable called stage name where, and the value of that variable is closed one. And now I can use this variable into my extract step. So now I'm gonna change my where clause. So let's say stage name is equals to stage name where. So whatever input I have provided into this stage name where is gonna pass it over here, and we're gonna get the opportunities which are closed one. And now if I click, so right now if I go, I have an opportunity called as a stage name called as proposal price code. And if I click execute, now I will not get that way. I will not get that opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it is understood. So you mean to say like you are passing external input into your data raptor, and basis on that
Correct.
external input, your data raptor is querying the data.
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
yeah.
whenever we are working in any of the projects, right?
Hmm.
So we never hard code any sort of values into the where clause or into the filter criteria. We always get some input to the data raptor from either OmniScript or from FlexCard, and then we use some variable name, and then variable name is getting will we will be passing it to the filter criteria.
Right. So maybe one more thing we can add here, like if we are using this data raptor in any IP, and from that IP, if we are passing something as an input, so that input will be stored in this variable, and then
Exactly.
basis on that data will be fetched.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, whenever we'll be seeing these all components integrated, like when we'll be calling the data raptor from your integration procedure, then we will pass the value of this stage name where from your IP. So whenever you are passing some data into this input parameters, this is your testing environment or this is your testing area where you can pass any. So let's say in futures this data raptor stopped working. Now, if you want to test this data raptor, what you will be doing? You will just go into the preview and into the input parameters. You will change the value, whether I'm getting any sort of value from my test value, right? So
So guys, right now we are understanding all the components individually, right? When we'll be connecting data raptor with IP, so in that case, you will understand more the use of this input parameter.
correct.
Okay.
And there is one more thing that I can show you. So, for example, I'm gonna change this one again to, let's say, this thing where stage name is not equals to blank. And if I click execute, right? So as you can see, even though I am passing some value into the stage name where, there is no impact. I'm gonna get the proposal price quote, right? Because I have removed the stage name where from the filter criteria. I have hard coded the blank value, correct? And
And
if I go to a, yeah,
yeah, one thing I wanted to say, I think you can complete first because I was about to go to right hand side where I can
yeah.
see Apex like SoQL. So
Yeah, I
maybe,
mean,
yeah,
that's the
you,
part I was about to explain, so you can
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, so you can continue that because that needs to be finished first.
Yeah. So, I mean, so my point was whether you are passing any value into your input parameters, and if you are not using into your filter criteria or anywhere, there is no impact of it, right? I mean, data raptor will not throw any sort of error. You can pass any variable which is not used into your data raptor. That is totally fine.
Okay, so I think if we have passed any value into input parameter, so it depends on us like we are using or not. So it is kind of optional.
Correct.
But I think we must use
Yeah, we must use. I mean, that's the best
best
practice.
practice, right?
So if I will go to the right hand side now, and we have two things. If your data raptor is getting failed, then there will be some sort of error into this block. And if there is no error, then whatever configurations you have configured into your extract tab. Similar to this extract step, there will be a SoQL query which will be created by data raptor automatically. So as you can see, we can see our query that we discussed in the beginning of this implementation. Select ID, account ID, stage name, amount, close date from opportunity, where stage name is not equals to blank.
So
Correct?
yeah, guys, you can see we used low code platform. We didn't write any query, but still you can see in debug log whatever configuration we did, basis on that, this SoQL is available here.
Yeah. And for example, if I'll replace this one, right? Your SoQL query into the debug log will get changed automatically. See this, where stage name is in closed, in is your operator, then closed one.
Yep, I think this is awesome tool.
Yeah, I mean you're not writing any sort of or any a single piece of line, and you are able to get your data.
Awesome. So I think this is end of first example, right?
Yeah, there is only one more thing missing. So as we saw into the slides, from data Raptor Turbo Extract, we can get the fields from your object and your direct parent, right?
Okay,
So
so
if you want to, yeah,
let me guess, you will be trying to access account information, right?
correct. So you will be having one more option into your extract step, which where you will be seeing all your direct parents of opportunity like account, campaign, contact, contract, and all these things, right? So right now I want to fetch it from the opportunity, the account object only. So I'm gonna select this one, and as soon as you will be selecting this related object, you will be able to see all your related parent fields as well.
So
See?
I think it is auto refreshed.
Yeah, it is auto refresh. We didn't do anything. So, for example, if I want to fetch the account name, right, I can just click over here and pull it to the right side.
So
And if
it
I
is,
go to preview,
yeah, it is reminding me child to parent SoQL.
exactly, right. So, and you will be able to see that child to parent SoQL over into this debug log as well. If I click execute, now if you go here, and you can see this account.name field has been automatically inserted into your SoQL.
Right.
So that's the beauty of OmniStudio Data Raptors.
And I think you need to focus on JSON as well. It is also get updated.
Yep. Into your JSON, you will be getting all your direct fields, and there will be a child object will get created into your JSON where you will be having your all parent fields.
Right. Great.
So yeah, I think that's it for Data Raptor Turbo Extract.
But I think in slides we have few more examples if we see. So this is the one which you demonstrated, and I think if we can pick one more, any one, and rest of the examples will be for practice. So this weekend I will be creating one exercise sheet as well. So what I will do, like few examples we'll be covering in the session, and few examples we'll put in that exercise sheet, so that folks can practice, and if they will be facing any issues, so we'll ask if there is any issue, so we can demonstrate that in our session.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go with one more example for fetching your account information.
I think we can pick a different one where multiple criterias are there.
Okay, okay. So what we can do, yeah, let's pick the second one where the active is equals to yes and annual revenue is greater than equals to 1 lakh, right?
I would prefer fourth one.
Okay.
Because it is having input parameters as well, so we don't need to hard code.
Okay.
So initial first, second, and third we need to hard code. So you already explained both the ways. Like if you want to hard code, you can, but as best practice says, we need to provide input through input parameters. So I think fourth one will be better, and maybe fourth one again if you can demo through both the ways, hard coding and without. So
sure. Yep. Definitely. So just give me a second.
And I think it is straightforward for account. There is no related object involved.
Correct. So we will go back to our OmniStudio data Raptors. We will click again on new button. We will call it as DRTE, and we can call it as like account records.
While you are creating this, I just want to highlight one more thing, guys. We didn't hit save button anytime, right? So whatever you are implementing, it is saved automatically. And this is the thing I like the most, because I remember whenever we create flows, and by mistake, like if you refresh the page, so everything automatically cleared from the canvas. So in flows, like we need to hit save button again and again if you are updating something. And by any chance, if you refresh your page, so everything will be removed. So in this tool, whenever you are doing something, you are changing something, so it is auto saved, right? So that is also beneficial for us.
Yep. So we'll click the save button, and we're gonna follow the same steps. In this option, we're gonna select the account object. Let's call it as ACC data, and into the filter, if I go back to the slide, right, we have filter as like where active is equals to yes and rating is equals to hot, right? So let's say we have this active field where we'll be saying, so whenever you are passing any sort of string value, you have to use single inverted comma, right? So here comes, yeah.
And guys,
ahead,
this is using hard coded values. So first we'll be showing you hard coded values, and then we'll show you how we can replace it with input parameter.
Yeah. So here comes the new thing. If you want to have multiple conditions in your where clause, you can just simply click on over here, and you can use any operator like and or limits, offset, order by. So whatever keywords can be used into your SoQL queries, we can use it into your data raptors as well. So for now, I'm gonna select as and I'm gonna give the rating. Rating is equals to, so in our example, rating was hot, and so this is the filter criteria that we have given. Now we're gonna select the value fields. So let's say active, and we're gonna select the name, and we're gonna also select the rating.
Yeah.
So these three things we're gonna select it, and nothing we have to do into the options. We'll go to preview and simply click the execute. So as you can see, there is no record that I have with the rating hot and active is equals to yes. Right?
Maybe you need to apply or.
Yeah. So I'll go to the account records, and let's say I'm gonna open this account record and details. And for the active one, I'm gonna say as yes. And where is the rating field?
Above, at top.
At top. Okay. Let's click it as save. So I have modified the data. I'll go back to the data raptor, and I'm gonna hit the execute button again. And here you go. We have one record.
Yeah, only one record, because that is modified right away. And
Correct.
At right hand side also we can see query results found 1.
Yeah. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create two variables, which will be like, first is rating var, and second is active var. Okay. And in the rating var, I'm gonna pass it as hot, and in the active var, I'm gonna pass it as active. Yes.
One question: do we need to use single quotes here or not?
So, in your input parameters, again, there are two things. This is nothing but it's a JSON.
Right.
So they have given the UI tool as well. So you can just click on it and put the variable name and the value. And if you want to add your JSON manually, you can just simply click on edit as JSON, and you can write your own JSON.
Got it.
Like this is your key name and this is your value.
Yeah, no single quotes, nothing. Direct. Yeah, we can directly put key and value pair, and it will be converted into JSON automatically.
Right. So I'm gonna go here and pass this as a variable, and for the active one, I'm gonna pass this as a variable.
Yeah,
right?
And this is best practice.
Yeah, this is your best practice. And now if I go to preview and click the execute, same value I'm gonna get. Right? So, I mean, like if I go for one more account, right? Let's go to this test Abhi. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna set the rating as again hot, and my active will be the no. Right? Now if I go back to my data Raptor, now I'm gonna click on this one and I'm gonna set this as no. So see, we have so many records with it. 3 records. So the usage of using this input parameters. So let's say if you are calling this data Raptor from 2 IPs. From one IP, you are getting all the accounts where you want to get the active accounts. From the second IP, you want to get the accounts which are not active. So you can use the single data Raptor into both the IPs, and you can pass the input parameters from your IP, so that you don't have to create a new data Raptor for getting the accounts which is active or not. So that's the benefit of using the input parameters.
I think this is it for today.
Yep, I think yes.
Okay, so guys, if you have any question, you can ask in the chat. I can see less questions today. I think you are able to understand what Abhishek demonstrated, and I will make sure like by next week you will have a exercise sheet. So 2 examples we demonstrated today, but I will try to put lots of examples on Data Raptor, so that along with what we demonstrated, uh, that also you need to implement, and other than that we'll be giving you lot more examples as well, so that you can practice them else also. Right. So thank you so much. And Abhishek, we are receiving great feedback. So I just want to ask you, like, just read the one. Slesha uh, posted, like, simply great, Sanjay and Abhishek. It's a great channel. Thank you for your effort. So uh, I want to dedicate this feedback to you, because it came because of your simple explanation, right? So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Risha.
yeah, one question from Sanket: while creation of the DR, required permission option is there. Can you please explain the option one? So maybe we can explain it in our next session, because yeah. So when we'll be creating one more DR, maybe for export, so we'll try to explain it.
Yep.
And Sudhir, yes, OPP data is just a variable to store the result. It is similar to list name, which we create in Apex. Okay, yeah, Manjunath, I will be preparing an exercise sheet where use cases will be there. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. So we'll be having lots of sessions for Data Raptor. So today we just completed turbo extract. We have extract, we have load, transform. So everything we'll be covering in detail. Okay, so Arun is asking, please show me the questions once. I think we need to share the screen again.
Yeah, okay. Let me do it. So, then...
Slideshow. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can, so that you can practice. And I think these are recorded in the session, so anytime you can have it. So Abhishek, there is one more question. Assume we have IP where it's retrieving active yes and other IP retrieving no. Do we need to create one more DR for no if we have one DR with yes?
So that's the functionality that I have explained in the last bit. So we can use the input parameters in your data raptor, and that input parameter can be passed from your IP. So one IP can pass yes and one IP can pass no. So data raptor will be the one, but that data raptor can be used into your multiple IPs.
Right. Okay, so I think this is it for today. Thank you guys for joining the session, and thanks to those who are watching the recording. Right, keep following all the videos, all the streams, and do practice so that you can have one more skill set added in your CV and you can apply to those companies where industry clouds are used. And thanks to Abhishek once again for uh, like giving your time to the community and sharing your knowledge. Thank you. Thank you guys. See you next week with some more content.